Hey, family. How's everybody doing? All right, listen, I'm getting ready to jump into the rest of this story now. I've already done the beginning of this chapter. This is chapter 7 in the New Testament of the Holy Megillah Nazarene Bible of the Essene Way. I already done this. This is about the birth of Yahshua, and it says that for lo, he came not only to bring salvation to humankind, but also to the animals, this being accomplished by the redemption of humankind from the bloody diet of ignorance and selfishness. Okay, and this redemption is to be accomplished by the regeneration of humankind as sons and daughters of God and Goddess in the Essene way. So that's the end of the account of his birth, right? Thus it came to pass that Jahday, our God immanent, the only directly emanated son of Jah, took incarnation as Yeshua and was born amongst the animals. So I actually have 2 of these videos. I think it's about 3 videos that I had to do to cover that first chapter. It might be 2. These 2 right here for sure. And I just titled them the Holy Gospel Nazarene New Testament, because it's basically the first thing that happens in the New Testament of this Holy Megillah. So if you want to see the first part of this chapter that I'm about to read today, those are the videos you want to look for. But this is so exciting because this is the same night, but this is the account of the shepherds. It says there were 7 shepherds in the field. And then the Ari-Mattitya is one of those shepherds. And his name happens to be Joseph. And so if you can already hear phonetically that Joseph, the Ari-Mattitya, and this who we have in the it's in the Gospels, recorded as Joseph of Arimathea, and it's in all 4 Gospels. And they say, though, that they don't know where Arimathea is. It's uncertain. So this Joseph of Arimathea, he's still questionable, except they say he was a rich man. But in this Holy Megillah, it's a different story. So I'm going to go ahead and get to telling this story so you guys can understand who this Ari-Mattitya is. Because in Hebrew, the Ari-Mattitya means, this is the Strong's Hebrew Concordance, and it says Mattiyah. It has a couple H's, but it means Gift of Yah. And it's the name of several Israelites, okay? So we're going to find out who this guy, his name is Joseph. I'm just going to summarize the story because there's so much I want to show you. In this story, this is on the night of the birth of the Lord Christ. The shepherds noticed a bright light in the center of the field where their sheep slept. So the 7 shepherds approached, and the light, and then behold, an angel of Elohim appeared to them. The light shone all around the angel, and 4 of the shepherds were so afraid they fled. So then the angel spoke unto the remaining 3, saying, Do not fear, I am Gabriel, the messenger of Elohim. I bring you glad tidings. Yea, on this night in the town of Bethlehem was born the Lord Christ, the Savior. So he says, you can find him in the center of Bethlehem in a manger wrapped in Nazarene hemp, for his parents are of the Nazarene priesthood. But before you may approach him, you must pledge to do your best to see that the sheep you tend do not become food for man. Lo, the sheep may share their milk and wool with you, for you feed and protect them, but they must not be killed and eaten by man, at least not with your assistance. Yea, this pledge is the price you must pay to see the Lord Christ. You prayed that he would come unto you. Behold, your prayers have been heard. Give thanks. Even so, you must pay the price named. Your sheep must not be sold for butchering. 2 of the 3 shepherds replied, You ask too much of us. This is how we earn our living. And they sadly backed away from the angel. But the one who remained said unto the angel, You ask little of me, for I must live on every word that comes from the mouth of the Savior. So then the angels were singing praises unto Elohim after he said that. Because this one's name is Joseph. He's the one who remained, the Ari-Mattitya. And this is his story. It tells that those other 2 shepherds, they thought they could find the center anyway without paying the price. And they ended up being beaten. and robbed. And then the shepherd, the one who stayed and who said he would gladly pay the price, and he got to live on every word that comes from the mouth of the Savior. He had almost found the center. He was almost there. He stood not far from the holy grotto and could see the great light. But at the same time, he heard a cry, and it was those two men that had been beat up. And he went to the cry. Instead of going to the holy babe, he went to the cry, and he started to help those guys, those two beat up shepherds. And as he was tending to the wounds, a sphere of white light appeared before his eyes, and within the white light was a baby. And the holy babe smiled at the shepherd. And so that one shepherd who said he's willing to pay the price, his tears flowed down the eyes of the holy shepherd, for now he understood. Then the Christ child vanished, and with his tears he washed the wound of the injured shepherds. And then with the rising of the sun, that one shepherd, he meditated and prayed, right? And then he found a lodging place for those two shepherds, and with his bag of coins that he was going to give to the parents of the holy babe, instead he used it to pay the woman to take care of those two shepherds. And then he said he would return and help them go to their own homes later on. So then he started going towards the grotto, finally. And as he turned the path, there was that led to the grotto. The shepherd was met by an elderly Nazarene priest, garbed in a robe of hemp with uncut locks to his thighs. The old priest had been sitting beside the entry to this path that led to the grotto. Now he stood before the young shepherd. The eyes of the priest were filled with light, like bright lamps. The priest looked deeply into the soul of the shepherd and knew him, though this was their first meeting in this world. The priest asked the young shepherd, "Do you know where this path leads?" And the shepherd replied, "Yea, unto the Lord Christ our Savior. Last night an angel gave me the glad tidings of the birth of the holy babe." Then the elderly priest said, "I am the gatekeeper of this path, for the path that leads unto the Christ is a Nazarene path, and only those who pay the toll may set foot upon this path." The shepherd replied, "I will pay any price, O Holy One." He said, "I will pay any price you ask." And then he told him, "But I don't have any money, but I've inherited a field from my father when he passed last month." And he said he'll sell that field to give the coin. Anyway, the old priest said, "The price is not a coin. I ask sincerity, diligence, perseverance, and loyalty absolute, even in hardship. These are the four pillars of discipleship. This is the price that must be paid if you are to walk this path. Behold, I am the gatekeeper and demand this toll from all who would walk this path. Will you pay this price?" Well, the young shepherd replied, "Yes, wise one." He said he wants to serve the Lord and walk his path. The priest smiled and said, "What's your name?" The shepherd said, "My name is Yoseph, and though money is not the price you ask, I wish to make a gift of coins to the parents of the holy babe." Right? And then the old priest declared, "I am David of Alexandria, grandfather of the holy babe. I serve as Yahshua of the Nazarenes. While he was still in the womb, the holy babe called me to this journey from Alexandria to attend his birth. Yea, I was inwardly led to the grotto and arrived just before the birth. Your name is Joseph, but I will call you Kepir, for you are a young lion. Behold, within the Nazarene religion of the Essene way are 12 tribes, and you will one day serve as Zaquin of the tribe of lions." So this is David the Yair telling this kid, Yosef, and he's not a kid, he's a young lion, that this shepherd, that last night the angel Gabriel came to him and he told him to watch this path for your arrival. Yea, he prophesied about you, saying, "Receive the prophecy of the Ari-Mattitya." And it tells us here that the Hebrew word Ari-Mattitya means gift of Yah. So this is different. This is Joseph the Ari-Mattitya, not of Ari-Mattitya. Okay, so this is his name means a gift of Yah. All right, so this is what Gabriel told David about him. He said, "A young shepherd will set foot on the path to the grotto. He has seen the holy babe in a vision and comes to meet him in the flesh. He comes without coin, but is rich in spirit. The gift he will lay before the manger is himself. For lo, he himself is a gift sent by Yah to the holy babe. Wherefore the young shepherd is a Mattitya. He comes as a strong young lion, and so you will call him Kepir, and you will train him in the tribe of lions. Behold, on the day that the Kepir becomes the Zaquin of the tribe of lions, you will no longer call him Kepir, for lo, he is now an Ari, a full-grown lion. On that day he will be called Ari-Mattitya, for that name is given by Jaja. No wonder they polluted it, because this name is very important. It's not a town, okay? And when the holy babe is a grown man, the Ari-Mattitya will serve him, yea, and he will also serve the Lady Christ. For behold, Yoseph, the Ari-Mattitya, will wear a pendant of thorns when the Lord wears a crown of thorns. And the pendant of thorns made by the hand of the Lord will be a sign unto the Ari-Mattitya to take the lady to safety, that the holy goblet may be birthed. Those were the words of prophecies that the angel Gabriel spoke unto me about you, Yoseph the Kepir. Yea, you will become Yoseph the Ari-Mattitya, but first you must be trained in the way for many years. Do you still wish to follow this path to the grotto? Asked David the Yair, and he said, yes, I do. He replied, I do. Okay, but I wanted to just say something, and then I'm going to have to make a part 2 to this. That, so not only was this Joseph there and met Yahshua when he was a baby, but he was going to be there when Yahshua's son was born as well, and make sure that the Lady Christ was safe so she could give birth to Yahshua's son. So what a gift. What a gift. That's what the gift of Yah was to the holy babe, which is Yahshua, that this young lion, this Ari-Mattitya, is going to be there for you as a baby and for your baby. And then Yahshua talks about him, and this is what I'm going to do in part 2. This is chapter 45. And this is where Yahshua is telling them that I'm going to be killed soon. He says, and that they got a role to play in the cleansing of this vortex. So this is what he says. Yahshua said to the green wizards, having looked into the future and knowing that the dark ones plot my death, I choose to exit this incarnation with purpose by purifying the region through which a soul passes after human death. You, the green wizards of the white rose, assembled at Gan Shalom, along with other green wizards that are now on missions in other regions, have a role to play in my cleansing of that vortex. Let the green wizards converge on the tomb where my body will be taken after I am crucified. And then he says, he talks about this tomb has been purchased by Joseph the Ari-Mattitya and held for this very purpose. He also says that, because remember now, the prophecy was that he was a young lion and he was going to become the chief of the lions of Zion. And so this is long time later. Yahshua's all grown up now. And he says, Joseph the Ari-Mattitya, at my request, has arranged that the lions of Zion will present Miriam to the Roman soldiers to receive my body, for she has that right as widow. Now, the lions are the protectors. So when Miriam was going to these Roman soldiers, she needed guards. And that's what Joseph the Ari-Mattitya was in charge of, because he was the chief by this time. And it says she has the right because she's the widow. So she would have had the right to get the body. Now, you know, King James tells us that it was Joseph himself that got the body down. See, the man who assumed responsibility for the burial of Jesus after his crucifixion. Okay. But they don't know where the town was. They say this dude was a rich, wealthy merchant. That's a different story. In the Holy Megillah, he was a shepherd. And then he was the leader of one of the tribes of the Nazarene nation. Okay, so they got the phonetics right, but the story behind these guys are different. So I'm gonna do a little bit more on the next video, guys. Okay, I'm gonna read the rest of that chapter 40. 46:45, because it's really good information in here. He's telling them that your job, Green Wizards, is to preserve alive as much of the tissue of my body as possible. Yeah, y'all want to definitely watch the next video. And rewatch this one again, just so you can get what I was trying to show you, who this Joseph, the Ari-Mattitya, is, not of Ari-Mattitya. So some of this stuff now, it's not really that funny to me anymore, the way that this stuff sounds so similar, but has such a drastic difference. You know, you go from a shepherd to being one of the richest men in the part of the world at that time. So either they're two different people and they just made up this name so that we would be phonetically feeling like this story that they told us in the King James has feeling, because phonetically it sounds the same, but it got different meanings. I don't know. All right. Stay tuned, guys. They say Ali Ali Oxenford.